In the garden, there's always something else to do. So even though I cleaned up my patio here, there's always something that needs to be done. So I put these items close by the back door so that when I come out to take the dogs to do their thing in the backyard, I have something close at hand to help me tend to those little jobs that need to be done one at a time. And if I do them one at a time, then they don't become so insurmountable that I dread coming out in the yard. This view right here makes me happy. Look at this. Those are my David Austin roses, and that's yarrow that's growing there bountifully among the roses that I planted from seeds, and they're growing immensely there in that little spot. I bought some salvia the other day to plant there. I had beautiful lilacs bloom. In the garden, there's always something else to do. So even though I cleaned up my patio here, there's always something that needs to be done. So I put these items close by the back door so that when I come out to take the dogs to do their thing in the backyard, I have something close at hand to help me tend to those little jobs that need to be done one at a time. And if I do them one at a time, then they don't become so insurmountable that I dread coming out in the yard. This view right here makes me happy. Look at this. Those are my David Austin roses, and that's yarrow that's growing there bountifully among the roses that I planted from seeds, and they're growing immensely there in that little spot. I bought some salvia the other day to plant there. I had beautiful lilacs blooming there last year, but the really cold weather killed them. But right now, blooming beside me is one of my very favorite things, the vitex tree. I'd never been introduced to a vitex before I moved into this house with this beautiful yard. And then, if you look around the corner there, you'll get the glimpse of the Japanese magnolia. So I'll take a little walk around here. This is the view from the backyard though. Look at the beautiful gazebo that my husband gave me on my 50th birthday. We brought all the little 4 seasons with us from our house in Panama City, and they line the yard with some David Austin roses and more yarrow and more salvia. Just got through planting these urns. I think that may be Angelonia. That's the purple there in the middle of it. And then I found these Supertunia Vista, which is what Garden Answers says is the most prolific blooming of all the petunias. So I went out searching for those, and I look forward to see what they do. I wanted some of this beautiful chartreuse sweet potato vine, but I could only buy it in a big container, so I had to divide it. So if you see the one on the left, it got most of the roots. The part on the right looks a little bit under the weather there. Maybe it'll grow better, I hope. And while I was there at Lowe's, I saw this beautiful hydrangea. I guess that's what you call a tree hydrangea, and I couldn't resist it, so I bought it. Now I want to take you out and show you the seedlings that have come up. If you'll notice there in the yard, I planted I had a bare spot there, wound up with a bare spot over the entire part of the yard there. It became a mud puddle. I was not happy with True Green, I'll let you know. So I had to have it sodded, and that's newly sodded grass. Hopefully it will all grow in. I had hoped that it would be more level than it is, because those of you who are my friends know that I need 2 knee replacements, but I'm too chicken to get them. And so I kind of stumble over the backyard every now and then, but I can't stay out of it. So that is a pollinator seed group right there. And I also planted some coneflower, and it looks like they're coming up, and I'll get out there and I'll show you in a few minutes. This is Confederate jasmine over this arch, along with it's the David Austin climber rose, and I can't remember the name of it right now. But so I'm gonna go down the steps now, and I'll take you out further into the yard. That over there used to be a playhouse. It's now my she shack. I had a pergola added to it, I think it was last year. And so it's a wonderful place to go sit in the afternoon, kind of cool. The wind blows. Got a place to put my tools in the backyard so I don't have to go all the way around to the front and go in and out through the garage. Although the garage has turned into another room. It's not just a place for the cars to go, because cars don't go there anymore. Okay, over here, this is a garden with seeds. Take a good look there at the poppy. I want you to see the poppy. I do love doing things by seeds because it's much cheaper. These lilies right here were given to me by Mary, my dear friend and my housekeeper for many years when we lived over on Cherokee. And I love to watch them come up. Whenever I look at them, I think of my sweet Mary, and I miss her terribly. There is hydrangea. That is limelight hydrangea. I planted some Formosa azaleas there in between I think that's ligustrum. Not really sure. I wish I knew my plants a little better. I do love the garden, but I'm not as well versed as I ought to be. Dear friend Betty Peters came over yesterday. I showed her the garden, and she said, you need to take pictures of those poppies, because we both love poppies. Look at this. We will zero in on this poppy. Is that beautiful or what? Isn't that pretty? I think I had more in here, but I had a yard man who came in here with a weed eater as my poppies were growing and cut them off. But when you plant seeds, you know, it's a variety of seeds, and you don't always know exactly what's coming up. So some of these things that I thought might be weeds that I leave in there, because I had a dear friend who said, if you don't know what it is, don't pull it up. So I've got some weeds growing in here that probably should be pulled up, but what if they happen to be a flower and I pulled it up and then I wouldn't get the pleasure of it? That'd be a terrible thing to happen. So I'm looking forward to my limelight hydrangea blooming. I have a lot of little critters sitting around, and my grandchildren enjoy those. I haven't decided what to put in that yellow pot there. It might be this hydrangea that's over here on the side. But as you see, I had a path, a gravel path put in here in the back, because as you can see, there's a lot of shade back here, and I needed a ground cover, and so this turned out to be the best option. And I did plant that Japanese magnolia there, and pretty much everything in the yard is something that I had planted. It was a beautiful expanse of grass when we first moved in. We added some more magnolias. I divided one of these big elephant ear bulbs, the one there beside the house, and I've put them all around. I think they're beautiful. I like them used as a filler. You can see there's a little bitty one right back there. It started off as just a bit of a bulb, but they will grow up and they'll help fill in the spots here in this flower bed, and I'm looking forward to that. My magnolia has white spot. Look at these beautiful hydrangeas. They like this area. And back there, let me see, what is lantana? That's lantana back there in that corner. And I am told that it really attracts butterflies. So I look forward to seeing the butterflies flit around this yard. I'm not real sure what that plant is right there. It looks like a little rose. Could very well be. If you'll see this gardenia right here, it was much the worse for wear. And I do hear the garbage truck going around. And I don't think that I took the garbage out today, so I better get in there and take the garbage out. Just wanted to share the seeds and the roses and things that are blooming here in my backyard with you. You hear the birds? Now I better go get the garbage.